You're now listening to Durian ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing.
Welcome to ASEAN BIZ, your only choice for business updates covering ASEAN countries. I'm Chia.
And I'm Eric Chong.
And we bring you business news on everything that happens around the world that involves ASEAN countries.
Yes, our Durian main story today is the richest in ASEAN. But before that, let's look at our current business updates on the topic of ISIS and ASEAN.
Yes, Eric, ISIS is a very popular event or what is happening right now, isn't it?
Yes.
And recently, the latest news on ISIS is that there were some bombs going off in Jakarta city center.
Yes, and for the past few years, over here, our ASEAN regions, we felt that the threat will not be spread over.
Yes, it was not so bad.
To our region, not so bad.
ISIS stands for Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, so we thought it's only in Iraq and Syria, right?
In that area, but sad to say, their activities slowly spread over to our ASEAN regions.
Yeah.
And this actually affected the business communities in ASEAN and the economic situation.
I think it spread over to Europe first before coming to us, right?
Yeah, probably they run out of avenues. They need to spread their wings.
So recently there were 6 bombs that exploded simultaneously in Jakarta city center. The first one being at the Starbucks cafe, right?
Yes, and I believe that most of their bombs started in these Westerner outlets, or so-called popular outlets.
Yeah, so today we are going to take a closer look at what ISIS is all about and how it affects business in ASEAN. So do you know what ISIS is, Eric?
Yeah, basically this jihadist military group called the Salafi. That follow an Islamic fundamentalist called this guy named Wahhabi doctrine.
Yeah, it's a Wahhabi doctrine.
Wahhabi doctrine of Sunni Islam.
Yes, there are basically 2 groups called the Sunni groups and the Shia group in Islam, right?
And it's an ultra-conservative school of Islam.
Yes, ISIS stands for Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, we mentioned just now. It is also known as ISIL, that's called the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant. Both these terms and these initials mean the same thing.
Yes, and ISIS was founded by al-Baghdadi in 1999 and pledged allegiance to Al-Qaeda. But they separated from Al-Qaeda in February 2014.
Yes, al-Baghdadi holds a Bachelor of Arts and a Master's degree and also a PhD degree in Islamic Studies from the Islamic University of Baghdad. So Eric, the other day somebody told me that education can help to remove extremism and terrorism. Yes. But it seems that
in this
our
case,
leader
this guy is very highly educated.
Has a PhD.
Yes, and he's very highly educated. So does education comes into the picture when come to
that
terrorists?
Belongs to another topic.
Right. So, and they have been famous for killing, violence, and a lot of things that are not towards the morality of the nations.
So talking about what ISIS is famous for right now, everybody knows that ISIS is famous for beheading both soldiers and civilians. We saw that beheading episode of the US soldier earlier, where the jihadi John shot him in the head, right?
And even some journalists.
Yes, journalists, and they burned some people alive. They also buried some children alive, right?
Children and women also not spared.
Yeah, they're also famous for sexual violence and slavery.
And they actually use their women as comfort women for their soldiers.
Yes, it seems that according to them, the Quran says that it's okay for them to kill or rape or torture women.
That is their interpretation.
Yes, right? Their interpretation. They say that the Quran says that.
But over here, we are not talking about anything religious over here. Okay. So we are just talking about these incidents, how it's affected the ASEAN communities and the business world around the world.
Yes. Yeah. And how strong is ISIS, Eric?
Well, it seems that currently the military strength is estimated to be between 50,000 to 250,000, both inside and outside of Iraq and Syria.
There's estimates, probably one estimate is from the Middle East and the other smaller estimate is from the CIA.
Yes, and I believe that this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, and at the rate they are recruiting using Facebook and technology.
Technology, so the viral cultures and the so-called, they're capitalizing on the young.
Yes, Eric, they even managed to recruit people from ASEAN, including Malaysia.
And we can see that some cases are actually rising. We've seen from the newspaper there are more cases of this violence
and
rising and terrorism rising, which means that their recruitment drive is towards success.
They have a very successful recruitment campaign.
Yes.
It always beats me, Eric. It's not easy to sell some stuff, for example, a product or, what we do in sales and business, right? Yes. And these guys are selling an ideology that tells people to actually strap themselves with bombs and to kill themselves.
So I would say that they are very good marketeers.
Yeah, from a sales point of view, it's fantastic.
Yes, because we have difficulty selling our airtime.
Yeah, we have difficulty selling almost anything. Selling houses, shoes, and whatever, computers, anything that we want to sell, we have difficulty selling. And here is a product that is so difficult to sell, that's asking somebody for his life.
And people just buy it. Right?
From a salesman point of view, it's a very successful
salesperson. And probably he's delved very deep into human psychology.
Yeah, there could be some lessons we can learn on the marketing
campaigns. So maybe their marketing is playing very deeply on human psychology, which a lot of marketers have not explored yet. Right? That's my theory. Right.
Yeah, so coming back to ASEAN, the threat now is very real, and a lot of countries, including our country, Malaysia, is stepping up all the guard and increasing the police and the security covering all the public places, right?
Yes, and everybody is on the lookout for any slightest so-called
what you have listed the hotspots also.
Hotspots, anything that is unusual.
Yes.
The human behavior,
suspicious
human walking around.
Especially people carrying bags and stuff like that, right?
And we can see people that walk around up and down, carrying maybe in our country they are wearing thick coats. We can never see that.
In fact, so far I believe our police, especially the special branch in Bukit Aman, they are doing a very good job. They managed to track the phone calls or whatever emails, and before these people could take any action to blow up anything, they have been arrested.
Yes, and I'm pretty pleased that they have done such a good job.
Right.
Because identifying them is not easy.
Yeah.
And also to apprehend them is also another task.
Yes, and just in case they miss out some people, they actually put a lot of guard and patrol around public places and shopping malls, including police guard dogs.
Yes,
huge ones.
That's very comforting to know about.
Yeah, it gives a lot of confidence to us and the tourists.
And even that, I believe that last year there was one incident that actually they broke one of the hideout of their terrorist group. Deep inside the jungle, which nobody have ever suspected it to be that.
Yeah,
area.
Our police are very efficient.
So in this situation, if you are doing business and traveling to ASEAN countries, this is what the general media advises travelers.
And also the police advise us.
Yes. Try to avoid places with a lot of crowd, especially Westerners and embassies areas, which are chosen targets of ISIS. Places like the Starbucks and pubs. These are the places which they choose.
We were told that these are their favorite targets.
As long as their perceptions that this area are sinful area.
Right. They have a reason for choosing these areas, right?
Yes, because their perception is that this kind of places is where the so-called the source of the sins.
Yes. Unfortunately, they are targeting more of the Westerners rather than the locals. It seems that the Westerners are more sinful in their opinion.
Yes. But it's just too bad the locals are just caught in the line of fire.
Yes.
And in fact, this situation, everybody is caught in the line of fire. It's not just the locals, even the Westerners, the foreigners, the travelers.
So, Eric, do you think that we should give ISIS some advice to limit their activities in Iraq and Syria, since their name is ISIS, right?
I don't think that we are in any position to give any advice in this situation.
Because we are ASEAN, and we are ASEAN, a peaceful region.
Yes, and we can say that please take your rubbish home. Which I see a lot of foreign places where they don't have any dustbins.
Yeah,
Okay?
I believe
They put
everyone
just put a
in
signboard.
ASEAN don't like terrorists and don't like fighting and stuff.
And
We
I
are very
believe
peaceful people.
nobody in the world would like terrorists. They can't tolerate terrorists. But it's just that because of different political differences and political mileage, the so-called the group are looking for, they tends to go after with terrorism.
Great.
Right?
Yes, Eric, that's what we have for today in our current business update. We'll be back shortly with more interesting updates on ASEAN. Stay tuned, guys. Welcome back, folks. Before we bring on our main story for this edition, Eric is going to share with us his funny business moment. And the title of his story today is Clever Boy.
Little Johnny is always been teased by the other neighborhood boys for being stupid. Their favorite joke is to offer Johnny his choices between a nickel and a dime. Little Johnny always takes the nickel. One day after Johnny takes the nickel, a neighbor pulls him aside and says, "Now Johnny, those boys are making fun of you. Don't you know that a dime is worth more than a nickel even though the nickel is bigger?" Johnny grimes and says, "Well, if I took the dime, they would stop doing it, and so far I have already made $20.
Well, we don't know who is making fun of who, right? Thank you, Eric, for that funny business moment. Welcome back to the show, guys. You're listening to ASEAN BIZ, your only choice for business updates covering ASEAN countries. I'm your host, Andrew Chia, and together with me is Eric Chong, and we bring you business news on everything that happens around the world, which involves ASEAN countries.
The title of our durian main story today is The Richest in ASEAN.
Yes, that's
Now, Andrew,
interesting,
what's your
right?
take about this?
Yeah, we are going to share with our listeners today the top 20 richest people. And richest people could include their family or their brothers and sisters, right?
Yes, so here we are getting the ranking about family wealth, not
Yes.
individual. It's their total net worth from country to country in
Yes.
ASEAN. And how many of them actually makes it to the top 20 list in the world?
Let's take a look at the country's analysis, Eric.
As
Starting
usual.
with Brunei.
As usual, alphabetical order.
Yeah, Brunei has one person that made the list of the richest in ASEAN, and this list is as at 31st December 2014, because the list for 2015 is not out yet, because right now
They are
it's
still
early
compiling their
2016. Yes, based on our latest list available, Brunei has one person on the list, and next country on the list is Cambodia. Unfortunately, Cambodia does not have any representative in the top 20 richest people in ASEAN.
And Indonesia, we have 3 of them in
Wow, not bad.
representing. And Laos, we don't have anyone yet because these two are growing economy.
We certainly hope that Laos and Cambodia will soon send their representative to be on the list of the richest people in ASEAN. We don't want to leave out any ASEAN countries, right?
Yes, yes.
All our
Hopefully
neighbors, we want all of them to be
ASEAN
rich.
countries will have some representative from their country.
Yes. Next to Laos is Malaysia, our country, Eric.
Yes.
And we are very proud to say that we have the most number of people on the list of the richest in ASEAN. A total of 6 people, Eric.
Wow, that's a lot. Yes. And next we have Myanmar. So far, Myanmar also does not have anyone representing their country.
We believe very soon they will have.
Very soon they will have. You know. Then we have Philippines. Philippines also doing very well. They have 5 of them
Fantastic.
representing.
Very
Fantastic.
powerful.
Right. Then we have Singapore. Singapore will have 4
representatives from Singapore.
And from a small country.
And
If
the
you look at
richest list. Wow,
richest
that's
list.
really commendable. And Thailand, a powerful country, has 3 representatives also, same as Indonesia.
And then Vietnam, they have none yet. So you
Yes.
can see from the statistic, you have countries like Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam. These are the countries that does not have any representative yet to
Yes,
date.
we hope they'll quickly
Yeah.
send their representative
So
to be
looking
on
at the
list.
situation and the wave they are growing, I believe that
Definitely.
is a definite thing, and it could be very near in the future. Right? So we have run down the list of the numbers of richest men in the respective country. So I think
Starting
maybe
with Brunei again.
maybe our listeners would like to know who are they. Right? So maybe we
First
start
on
with
the
Brunei.
list.
Yes, first on the list.
Our
Brunei.
representative from Brunei is none other than the Sultan himself, Sultan Hassanal Bolkiah, and the family wealth, totaling $20 billion.
True.
um,
And in the ASEAN ranking, he's ranking at number 2.
yeah, I'm sure everybody would be curious. Who is number one? We will come to that soon. Please be patient. And we also bring you the business they are involved in for all these richest people. And of course, the Sultan is, I believe, not involved in any business. His business is as a king of the country.
Yes.
Or
And
the
the whole
Sultan.
country belongs to him. That's the thing.
And
Then-
a rich country with a lot of oil, right?
Yes. Then we have the children of Suharto from
Next on the
Indonesia.
list, yes.
Next on the list.
The richest people in Indonesia.
Indonesia. That's the children of Suharto. There's the Suharto's family. And
They are ranked number 4.
They're ranking at number 4 with a total net worth of 15 billion.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we believe their business, which is diversified, could cover politics, tobacco, and a
I
lot of
would
things.
say
But
it's a very well diverse business.
yes, but we believe it's all linked to politics, right?
Right. And then we have the other one is Robert Budi Hartono and Michael Hartono,
The two brothers.
2 brothers.
The second richest
The
in
second richest
Indonesia,
in Indonesia, and they are ranking in ASEAN at number 10,
with a total net worth of
$8.5 billion
US dollars.
US dollars.
And the business is a very famous brand of tobacco called the
Jarum.
Jarum tobacco. Have you smoked Jarum before, Eric?
I believe most people will have smoked at least one stick of Jarum before.
Yeah. It tastes wonderful. It smells
Smells like cigar.
very like
Aromatic.
cigar. Yes, the Indonesian people love Jarum very much. And the other brand is Sampona, right?
Yes, and if you have any Indonesian friends, probably you will have tasted it before.
Yeah. And last on the list in Indonesia, that means the number 3 richest people in Indonesia is Sri Prakash Lohia, with a net worth of 4.2 billion and ranking 20th in ASEAN.
And their business mainly is petrochemical and textile.
Okay, so Eric, we have covered Brunei and Indonesia. Okay. Next on the list is people from Malaysia.
So
And
we have
starting
6
with the richest man in Malaysia and used to be richest man in Southeast Asia.
Okay, so we have the first one from Malaysia is Robert Koch.
Yes, the famous Robert Koch.
Famous Robert Koch. His ranking is at number 6 in ASEAN.
Yes, behind the sultans and the kings, right?
Yes, and his total net worth is 12.5 billion
US dollars as 2014.
2014. So his main business is sugar.
Yeah, he's known as a sugar king in the world, right?
Yes. Everybody knows about him as sugar cane, but I think beside sugar, he also
Yes.
has other businesses.
Right, properties,
Property,
hotels.
hotels.
Shangri-La Hotel belongs to him.
Insurance company,
Insurance, yeah.
right? So he has other very well diverse businesses.
He has shopping centers, properties, insurance, and hotels.
Right. So and then next on the list is Ananta Krishnan.
Yes.
Okay, he's ranking at number 8 on ASEAN, and a 10.1 billion net worth. Yes. And in case guys you all don't know who is Ananta Krishnan, I think he's the owner of Astro.
Right, yeah.
Right.
He's also involved in oil and gas
Oil and
industry.
gas, and he's,
multimedia is Astro.
in Astro.
And gaming. He owns the lotteries, right?
Yes.
Some of the lotteries.
Some of the lotteries.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we have Kwek Ling Chan. Okay.
Hong Leong Bank boss.
Hong Leong Bank boss. Okay. His ranking is at number 12. It's at 5.7 billion. So
Wow.
mainly his involvement is mainly in the financial sector. Anything involve money involve him.
Yeah, the Hong Leong Group
Hong
chairman.
Leong Group chairman. So I believe Hong Leong Group also into plantation as well, and also property as well. So
Yes. A lot of properties development and also industries.
yes.
And next on the list is Tan Sri Teh Hong Piao, ranked at 13 in ASEAN with a net worth of 5.6 billion US dollars.
Just
I
a
believe,
little bit behind Kwek Ling Chan.
yes, almost brothers. They are also involved in financial. Tan Sri Teh Hong Piao is the boss of Public Bank. And also he has insurance business under Lon Pack. All financial business.
Financial tools and financial business. Anything related to finance and money.
Eric, why don't we get ourselves a banking license and we can become one of the richest men in ASEAN, right?
Yeah, you can do it at the Monopoly game.
That does not give me much confidence, bro.
Yeah, okay. You can go and buy a Monopoly set, then you can become the banker.
Besides Monopoly, how about gaming? Tan Sri Lim Kok Teh, the son of Lim Gotong, the famous Lim Gotong, Genting boss. He is the next on the list, ranked at 14 in ASEAN.
And
with net worth
of 5.3 billion.
And of course, his business is Genting gaming. Everybody knows
Genting,
that.
Star Cruise, Resort World. These are the properties that they own, and these are the business activities they are having.
Eric, you tell me that I can't do banking. Can I get a license to operate a casino instead?
Can. Why
also
not?
Monopoly.
Yes.
Ayo. Sad. There goes my dreams of becoming one of the richest men in ASEAN.
Well,
no license for bank, no license for
There's
casino.
other way. There's other ways.
Yeah, there are a lot of ways, Eric. Yes,
it's not necessary to
we
be
shall
in these
see
sectors.
The rest of the people that are involved in many other industries besides banking and gaming, right?
And the final one on our Malaysia list is the Lee Sing Chen. Okay, he's the ranking number 19 with a total net worth of 4.5 billion.
Lee Shin Cheng is the boss of the IOI group. And of course, we know that IOI is involved in
plantation,
oil palm industries.
And
after that, they were involved strongly in
properties and development. And they are doing very well in the property market.
Yeah, I believe this year he will have a big windfall because El Nino year. It seems that the world production of oil palm is going to be reduced drastically due to El Nino. And Mr. Lee Sing Cheng has a lot of oil palm estate.
Yes, yes.
It will be bonus for him. He could leapfrog a few places in the ranking, right?
Yes, that's true. All right, folks. We will take a short break and we'll be back with our stories shortly. Stay tuned, guys. Don't go away.
Welcome back, folks. You're listening to ASEAN BIZ, and our Durian main story today is the richest in ASEAN. But before we continue with the concluding part of our story today, Eric will give us a quick health tip. Eric is our health and fitness coach, and he runs a 100-kilometer marathon himself. And his health tip today is eating in the 50s.
Right. Thanks, Andrew. In the past few episodes, I've been saying about how to eat in your 20s, 30s, 40s. And now today we're going to talk about how to eat in your 50s and beyond. Right. In this situation, when you are touching 50s and beyond, keeping your weight in check is important at any age, but it can become more challenging in your 50s and beyond. As muscle mass naturally declines with age, it brings with it a drop in your daily calorie requirements. So if you don't adjust your intake accordingly, your weight can easily creep up. For women, this is the decade that can bring the changes associated with menopause, including weight gain around the midsection, mood swings, and poor sleep quality. So, how do we go about this thing? First thing, we control stress eating. Life in your 50s can be stressful. So in their early 50s are still part of the sandwich generation, taking care of teenagers and aging parents all at once. Rather than turning to food to reduce stress, which a lot of people do, they always say that I have comfort food. When they have stress, they go for comfort food, and most of the comfort food are not healthy food.
Stress makes them hungry, right?
Makes them hungry because it activated their cortisols. So the next thing is to stay active, get adequate rest, and turn to family and friends for support if you have any challenges with dealing with teenagers and aging parents. Right? And then you eat nutrient-dense food. Nutrient-dense foods are those that have the most nutrition for the fewest calories.
That means cut away all the junk food, sandwiches, burgers.
So you just go
sausages.
For raw foods which have a lot of nutrients, but not so much in calories. Since your calorie needs are starting to decline, every calorie really counts. Nutritionally speaking, so choose wisely to get the most nutrition you can out of your calories. Okay, choose properly, right, and get plenty of calcium. For women, calcium needs actually increases after menopause. Women over the age of 50 should aim for about 1,200 mg per day, and men should be taking in about 1,000 mg daily to support bone health. Along with calcium, it's also important to get adequate vitamin D, which helps the body absorb calcium. Fortified dairy products are good sources of both calcium and vitamin D.
Yes, and sunlight.
If needs cannot be met from the food, dietary supplements can help fill in. Right? So that's all, folks. If you are 50s and
Eric,
beyond.
you talk about food. How about beverages? Can I stick to my coffee and favorite beer and stuff like that?
Well,
or do I need to cut down or increase the intake?
If you are hard on coffee, I would suggest that you reduce the coffee intake daily.
I believe I'm not alone. There are a lot of coffee lovers.
There's a lot of coffee lovers, and do go for those pure coffee. Don't go for those 3-in-1 or those the mixture. If best you can do for those ground from the coffee bean by itself.
Wow.
Right? Those are also rich in nutrients, and they are not so heavily so-called mutated.
Great. That means I can continue with coffee.
Yeah, just plain coffee will be fine.
Great, right. Thanks, Eric, for the useful health tip. Let's continue with our durian main story today, that is, the richest in ASEAN. We have covered Brunei, Indonesia, and Malaysia, and we are left with Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand.
Yes.
The rest of the countries have not sent their representatives yet.
Yes, we are waiting. There are a few more columns to be filled. Right. So, in Philippines, the first on the list is the Henry Shi and family. Okay, they are ranking number 3
It's a family business
in ASEAN, and their total net worth is 15.8 billion. Their business is mainly on real estate, hospitalities, banking, mining, education, and healthcare.
Well, people from Philippines are ranked number 3. Number 2, we have already gone through. There's the Sultan of Brunei, and left number 1. Who is the richest man or the richest family in the whole of ASEAN?
We come to that part later.
Right, yeah. Keep the suspense.
So, Andrew, next on the Philippine list?
Lucio Tan.
They are ranking at 11.
Yes, with a net worth of 7.5 billion US dollars. And they're involved in many industries, banking, airline, liquor, tobacco, and real estate also. That's why they make so much money.
Yes, we have a more interesting family here. It's Imelda Marcos and family, the past presidents of Philippines.
Yeah, the wife of Ferdinand Marcos.
And his ranking is at the number 15 on the ASEAN ranking.
The family wealth.
So the total net worth is 5 billion.
And of course, their business is related to politics, being the wife of the
politically generated wealth.
Past president of the Philippines.
Yes. Then we have Andrew Tan.
I thought it's Andrew Chia.
Yeah, but too bad. Wrong surname.
I believe the next ranking coming soon will be Andrew Chia.
Name already mentioned. Right. Okay. So we have the ranking at number 17th, and his total net worth is 4.6 billion.
Yes, Andrew Tan is involved in
real estate, liquor, and fast food.
Hey, fast food, Eric. Who says fast food is bad for health? You can become a billionaire selling fast food.
It's bad for your physical health, but good for your financial health.
Yeah, good for your wallet. You can make lots of money because a lot of people love unhealthy food.
Yes, that's true.
and you're gonna sell them what they want.
And nowadays, with the so much called junk food, fast food are actually cheaper than good food. So too bad. Yeah, and I got a chance to speak to some Americans. He says what happened in America now is that the fast food is fast becoming the staple diet of the family because it's getting very costly to actually eat healthy in their country. So most of the family that not so well-to-do family will just turn to fast food as their main food. So sad to say, it's happening. That's what happens to the food industries, right?
Yeah.
And next we have Araki Rezon.
And lastly on the list of the richest people in Philippines, the number 5 richest, Enrique Razon Jr.
His ranking is at 19th, right?
with
It's
a
at
total net worth of
4.9 billion.
almost 5 billion
Almost
US
5
dollars.
billion.
And
So-
Mr. Enrique is involved in logistics. His company is called International Container Terminal Services Inc. Yeah, there's another way of making a lot of money, Eric.
Yes.
You don't give me a banking license. You don't allow me to operate a casino. You know.
Allow me to operate logistics.
Yeah, I can run a logistics company and still make a lot of money.
And
How about liquor license? Can you grant me a liquor license, please? I believe that would make a lot of money
you are
too.
talking to the wrong person. Maybe you talk to the right department, you might get it.
I'm sure fast food does not need any license or approval. Okay,
You just need a fast food franchise.
I'll give it some thought. Maybe I'll invent a franchise myself.
Yeah, why not? You know?
Since there are so many fans of fast food, right?
Yes, you can do a fast, healthy food. It can be done. Yeah, and somebody have already done that. It can be done. Fast, healthy food is not impossible. It's possible. Right?
Way
Then
to make money.
we look
Finally, we have covered Philippines. 5 people of Philippines. Next, we move on to
Singapore.
who is the richest people in Singapore?
Well, it's also start with Robert, but this is Robert Ng and family.
It's a family business.
It's a family business.
Yo Hap Sing boss.
Your Hafsing boss is ranking at number 9 at the total net worth of 10.1 billion.
Yes, and Mr. Robert originally was not famous for Yo Hap Sing. He took over Yo Hap Sing because there were some family squabbles with the company, and he took over. And he actually was very famous for crashing the futures market in Hong Kong in the 90s, and he's supposed to pay a fine of $1 billion or $500 million, and he didn't pay. And somehow he managed to escape that episode and still become a billionaire and even the richest man in Singapore.
Yes, and
Wow, that's fantastic.
nobody can touch him now.
He's the richest man.
We believe that, and during our younger days, anything is about Yong Hap Sing, right? Even during Chinese New Year, when Chinese New Year is just round the corner.
Yeah, a very famous drink.
Yeah, the famous drink every
Even till
family
today.
till today. But of course, with competition comes in, the market share is much smaller. You know? But during our days, anything is Yong Hap Sing, right?
10 billion US dollars in business like that. Okay.
Okay.
Next on the list in Singapore is who?
Wee Cho Yao and family,
Very famous.
very famous.
Who doesn't know Wee Cho Yao? He's
Yes.
the boss of who?
UOB Bank.
Right. Yes.
He's ranking at 15th and the total net worth of 5 billion. So as we mentioned earlier, he's the owner of UOB Bank. So he's
Yes.
automatically
Wow, it seems a lot of
ranking.
people operate banks can make money. Unfortunately, we don't have that choice unless somehow, with some miracle, we get a banking license.
Yeah, or you have a time machine, you go back 50 years time.
Get a banking license.
Get a banking
okay?
license.
And the next on the list is also banking. This time it's a cousin brother of our Kwek Ling Chan, the Malaysian. He is a Singaporean. His name is Kwek Ling Beng. Also very famous, right?
Yes.
And he's also the boss of Hong Leong Bank. But the bank, Singapore,
Singapore.
Hong Leong, yes.
Yes. So his ranking is at 16th and a total net worth of 4.8 billion. Okay.
Brothers Kwek Ling Chan and Kwek Ling Beng. The next on the list is also a group of brothers, the Kui brothers in Singapore.
And their ranking is at 17th. Total net worth is 4.6 billion. So the business they are in is property, hospitality,
And the company is the
Pontiac Group.
Pontiac Group.
Yes. So we have this Pontiac is also a car from America, right?
Property and hospitality also makes money, right?
Makes money definitely makes money, especially in Singapore when land is scarce.
Great, fantastic, Eric. We have covered Philippines and Singapore, besides Brunei, Malaysia, and Indonesia. And the final country right now is Thailand.
Right.
Yes, very interesting. Who is the richest man in Thailand, Eric?
I believe he's the king of Thailand.
Yeah, none other than the king Bhumipol Adulyadej and the family wealth. Totaling?
30 billion.
Yes, there you have it, guys. The
So he's
richest
ranking
number one
number one.
in ASEAN is the king of Thailand. What is his business, Eric?
He owns Thailand.
Okay, yeah, he's the king.
When you
Is
say
there
he's
any
the king-
chance I can be king of some country and become rich?
Yeah, you go to another country, buy a small island, and name yourself king.
Okay. That doesn't give me much confidence, Dave.
Right. Then the next one we have.
Thailand names are very long and difficult to pronounce.
Difficult
Okay,
to
we'll try our
pronounce.
best.
Okay.
Mr. Danin,
Tanin Cherawat Not. Is that how I
Yes.
pronounce it?
roughly, yeah.
Roughly. Okay. He's ranking at number 5 with
Very
a total
high
net
ranking,
worth
right?
of 14.3 billion.
Yes.
And he's in life insurance. So, right.
Life insurance need license or not?
Definitely.
Oh.
Anything regarding
But
finances.
it's not so difficult to get a life insurance license, right, compared to banking or casino.
You can give it a try.
Eric, you're very bad. You don't give me much confidence.
Mm,
And rank at number 5 is richer than the richest man in Malaysia. Fantastic. Life insurance works. Okay.
Yeah.
And finally, the third richest man in Thailand. Oh, it's very challenging. I look at the name, it's so long. Mr. Charon Sirivardhana Bhakti.
Oh, okay, you get most of it right.
Okay. Rank at very high at number 7.
With a total net worth of 11.7 billion.
All these guys more than 10 billion US dollars.
Yes,
rich.
yes. So,
And he's involved in what business?
beverage. Indoor
Wow,
market,
beverage. He's the boss of FNN.
F&N.
Yes.
And I believe also a number of beers.
Yes. Indorama Corporation.
Right.
Mr. Charon, very rich man in Thailand.
So, when you are in Thailand, every drinks you drink contribute to his wealth.
Now I'm thinking, shall I get into the beverage business?
Yes.
Maybe beer can make more money, right?
Yes, start selling beer. Open a pub and start selling beers.
You need to open a beer brewery in order to become so rich.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Maybe take over Carlsberg or Guinness, right?
Yeah. Okay, start working on the capital. All right, folks. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you, and we hope you will enjoy the show. We'll be back with a brand new story for our Durian Main story on ASEAN BIZ in the next edition.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.